The Supreme Court rules that boneless chicken wings can have bones. Supermarkets in Japan are tracking workers' smiles. And a football coach marries a stripper nicknamed Pole Assassin with a pet monkey. These are the weird stories for Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast that's boneless. Yeah. Boneless wings can have bones, and Ohio Supreme Court rules. What's with Ohio and the food debates? I covered a story a few months ago where an Ohio judge ruled that a burrito is also a sandwich. Gotta love the state of Ohio, guys, fixing all the important issues that the citizens really feel strong about. Now, just because you have ordered some boneless chicken wings at a restaurant does not mean or guarantee you should not expect to find bones, the Ohio Supreme Court says in a 4-3 ruling that took place on Thursday. In a divided decision, Republicans on the Ohio Supreme Court ruled that bones are a natural part of chicken, so a consumer should be on guard for them, even if you had ordered boneless wings. Oh, lovely, lovely. I can't wait to choke on a bone from my boneless wings. What are we doing here? By the way, I have so many issues with it. First of all, why are we calling them wings when boneless wings are really breasts? It's always white meat. That is breast meat is what it is. Yet we call it wings. We call them boneless, and now they could have bones. So if the wings isn't real and the bones isn't real, I mean, is anything real in Ohio? I just want to know. I mean, next it's not even going to be chicken. You're going to be like, did you order the boneless wings? Yeah, well, here's some rabbit with bones in it. Don't be surprised. We have a quote here from some Republican who's really earning his paycheck over there in Ohio. Joe Dieters says, quote, "There is no breach of a duty when the consumer could have reasonably expected and guarded against the presence of the injurious substance in the food." Does anyone know what that means? I have no clue what this guy's talking about. Democrats on the court disagreed. They called this reasoning absurd. They contend that a jury, not appeals court judges, should decide whether customers should expect to find bones in their boneless wings. So they're saying a court shouldn't decide, a jury should decide. I'm saying, like, common sense should decide. If I order boneless wings, they shouldn't have bones in them. And maybe we ought to change the name of wings to like boneless chicken hunks, boneless breast hunks. I don't know. This article says it all stems from April 2016 when some guy named Michael Berkheimer ordered some boneless wings. And on the third piece, he felt something go down the wrong pipe. The next day, a doctor removed a chicken bone from Berkheimer, and he ended up with an infection and had to endure a couple of surgeries as well. So lawsuits are at the basis of this, as they typically are. Berkheimer and his lawyers argued that boneless means boneless, and I agree. The defendants argued that bones are natural to meat, so consumers should expect them, you know? I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, you could argue that any part of the animal is natural to meat, so what? If I get an antler in my burrito or a shark tooth, like, that's just, it's natural to meat to get those, so don't be alarmed if you swallow an antler. This ruling in Ohio provides legal protection to the food businesses, so that tells you what's going on here. You have more than likely a food industry with lobbyists helping to just push some defensive mechanisms through the courts. And this is what you get. So these courts really, they don't act in the best interest of the citizens. Oftentimes they act in the best interests of corporations and businesses, sadly. And sadly, at the end of the day, you have victims of food-related hospitalizations that can't get any restitution. It's like me with a tree nut allergy. I expect when I buy a product that says does not contain tree nuts that it's not going to contain tree nuts. If it does, I could be in serious trouble, and then I have no recourse if they happen to change that as well, you know? I mean, what next? Is Ohio going to rule that ice cream sandwiches can have sticks inside them because they're not really sandwiches? They could be popsicles. This is just like, the American justice system. Doesn't contain any justice at all. Just a little bit of justice flavoring. Just remember it's weird news and it'll be alright. Beep. Japanese supermarkets begin tracking and optimizing workers' smiles. A major Japanese supermarket chain has implemented a new AI system that evaluates and seeks to standardize employee smiles. This company announced the adoption of a smile rating AI system dubbed Mr. Smiles in over 200 stores across Japan, making Aeon the very first company to employ such technology. Development by the Japanese company InstaVR, Mr. Smile is claimed to accurately assess employees' demeanor and rate their overall attitude based on over 450 factors, including their greeting, their facial expressions, their smiles, their voice volume, and even the tone of their greetings and their voice. Aeon says that its goal is to standardize employee and staff members' smiles, therefore to satisfy customers' satisfaction to the maximum. This is horrible. What kind of draconian crap is this? Imagine working in these supermarkets and having a camera on your face at all times, tracking your smiles, and then managers coming up to you. Hey, you haven't been smiling enough today, Sally. That's not a smile, Fred. That's a smirk, all right? You're fired. Come on, man. The whippings and beatings will continue until morale improves, everybody. That includes you, the baggers. The baggers. We still call them baggers. It's so demeaning. Now, it says prior to Aeon's rollout of the AI software to all of its stores, they ran a very successful trial in 8 of their stores involving about 3,500 employees, and they noticed that the attitude of the employees improved by 1.6 times. Great. I'm sure the employees totally enjoyed it. Having to just act super happy to be at a supermarket working, smiling at the tourists that are taking advantage of the depleted value of the yen right now. Just they must really just enjoy this experience. I do a joke in my stand-up comedy about, or I used to anyways, about Trader Joe's employees being psychotically friendly to the point where it just scares me, and how I really appreciate going to like the lower end supermarkets like Ralph's, where the employees, they don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. This is what I relate to. Like, I want an authentic experience from them. They don't got to do anything over the top at the supermarket. Now, my server, that's a different story. If you're working on tips, like, please smile a bit, like, be friendly. In those instances, I appreciate it. But at stores, I get it. They don't want to be there. Like, they don't have to be all cheery for me. I mean, at the end of the day, they're not even paid enough to act like that. Like, you pay them enough to just show up and do the basic job, not anything extra. And if you're expecting extra, that is called failure of perspective. The article ends with a paragraph saying, having this level of constant scrutiny over your every action from an AI, even down to your smile and your attitude throughout your shift, would inevitably lead to some form of attitude adjustment, especially in a country very known for saving face. But we can't help thinking this technology feels very much like the start of a Black Mirror episode. Yeah, I agree. And I would add that if you want your employees to really enjoy themselves at a monotonous job, such as being a cashier at a supermarket, do what they do at Trader Joe's and give them some Molly before they start their shift.
Let's rock.
A football coach, a stripper, and an emotional support monkey. The Texas Longhorns coach Jeff Banks married his girlfriend Danny Thomas, who is a stripper known as the Pole Assassin. The stripper known as the Pole Assassin owns an emotional support monkey who she uses on stage sometimes. This is pretty crazy. We have a football coach, a monkey, a stripper. Sounds like the beginning of a new pandemic. Let's find out if this is safe and good for the rest of the culture. It says here Banks and Thomas tied the knot over the weekend in a ceremony that appeared to take place in Texas. It was an incredible 72 hours with the family and friends and a monkey. And I'm sure there was some strippers there. Fellow staff members at the University of Texas posted pictures of this happy couple, the Pole Assassin and the coach, on their big day. The Pole Assassin pretty known after her appearance on Jerry Springer with her pet monkey, Gia. It was alleged that Gia had bitten a child in a haunted house that she set up outside for Halloween. Did I cover that story? The stripper and her emotional support monkey biting a child during a haunted house scene? I think I did. It says here the emotional support monkey Gia has a very popular Instagram account. Probably got more followers than me. And I'm the one grinding away in a closet all the time. What does this monkey have to do? Just hang around with a stripper? Some people got the best life. I want to hang around with a stripper and have her pay for all my meals. Gia is an emotional support animal, quote unquote, and has been used alongside Thomas during her performance when she was a pole dancer known as the Pole Assassin, which sounds pretty awesome. If I'm having a birthday party and you're like, Jonesy, for your birthday, we got you the Pole Assassin, I would be like overjoyed. I don't even need the monkey on the side. Just give me the Pole Assassin. What a name, the Pole Assassin. If you think that's not a cool nickname, then wait till you meet her sister, Glitter Tits. That woman's got it going on. So stupid. This story is wild. I'm not even sure I should have covered it, but the title just grabbed me. It was so... God bless America is what I thought when I read it. God bless America. The only country where just true freedom reigns. You just do whatever you want. You want to marry a pole assassin with a pet monkey? Just go for it, man. You know, when our forefathers created this great country, they envisioned a place where it was truly free to express yourself and to live the life that you want. And, you know, I think they'd be so pleased to hear about this one. Now, I know some of you probably listening outside of the States thinking, how do I get over there and live the life that I want? Yes, figure out a way to get over here. Live the life that you want. You don't have to be struggling all lonely in your little corner of the world without freedom. Come over here. Come over here. You don't have to cover yourself up. You can get married to a burlesque dancer called Chainsaw Thighs, who's got an emotional support pelican. Live it, man, is what I'm saying. Hello, my friends and my loyal listeners of the Weird AF News podcast. Thanks for your support, and thanks for joining me for another episode of Weird AF News. I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Just know that I do weird news 5 days a week. And on Friday, it's only weird news from Florida. Hope you enjoyed that Florida Friday episode, by the way. I think it was a good one. Just want to say that I hope you had a great weekend. I certainly did. With shows. It was lovely. Shows and softball. That's a great way to spend the weekend. Am I right, guys? I'm not going to lie. There was a little bit of wine involved, of course, but this is what happens. There was some free beverages. When I do shows, I often get free beverages at the venue. That's lovely. I do not like to spend $16 on gin and tonics here in Los Angeles. So, anyways, let's give a shout out. It's time for giving thanks and praise, as the great Bob Marley used to sing about. We have here Kim Frank. Kim is a big fan of Weird AF News, so we love her, and we just want to give her a shout out because she became a member of the Patreon. So that's what I really appreciate. So Kim became a member of the Patreon. So cheers, thanks, praise for Kim Frank, showing the utmost support for Weird AF News by joining the Patreon. Isn't that so lovely? So lovely. If you guys want to be a patron of the arts, also known as a philanthropist, then please consider joining the Patreon for Weird AF News. It's a great way to support Jonesy and the Weird AF News podcast. Just go to weirdafnews.com, the official website, and click on the Patreon banner. You can even buy me a coffee there if you choose to keep me highly caffeinated. And I think you should. Why wouldn't you want to keep me highly caffeinated? Why wouldn't you do good like that? Don't you love a podcast host who is just writhing with veins that are filled with caffeine? Is it in your veins? I think it's in your veins. It must be in your veins, right? The caffeine flows through your veins. It flows through my brain. I know that. I can feel that. My temples throb when I'm on my third cold brew. I can feel my temples throbbing like something's gonna burst. That's where I'm at my best when it comes to recording. Oh, and before I let you go, just like to bring to your attention that I was just a guest on the That Was Wild podcast with Adam Macias, and it was a phenomenal episode. we covered some weird news segments in there. Adam does some weird news on that podcast, and it's something to check out. On my social media right now, I've been sharing reels from the show, the That Was Wild podcast. If you go to @FunnyJones, you can see that reel, and it links to Adam in the show. So I recommend checking that out, or just follow the That Was Wild pod on Instagram, and I'll be posting links to that too in my social medias and whatnot. So look for that. It's a great episode. Adam is a fantastic host, and I can't wait to get on the show again. I actually thought to myself, I got to have a way to incorporate him into the Weird AF News podcast world as well, because he's so funny. So I think I'm going to do a bonus episode with him. But anyways, check out the That Was Wild pod. The latest episode is featuring me as the guest. We talk about weird news, conspiracy theories, and when I was kicked out of a Red Hot Chili Peppers cover band, among other things. Fabulous episode. Anyways, if you guys want to reach out to me, my email's funnyjones@gmail.com, and the phone number is 646-450-2012. I'll see you tomorrow, weirdos, and good luck with your life, man.